Hello there, my name is Jordan Leroy Hansen, also known as LeDev, and sorry it took me a while to start making videos. I was actually on vacation to California to see my brother, so I was recovering from that as well and just essentially having a good time there. Just pretty much took a nice vacation. But I'm back now working on War of the Spark, and I got kind of a funny brew that I'm kind of laughing at that I was able to get. Now, essentially, there's a popular deck that's been going around called Mono Green Tron, which, for people who know in Standard, it's essentially using the card Nissa Who Shakes the World to essentially, for lack of better words, more or less try to ramp up to stuff like Ugin or Karn, the Great Creator, and try to tech out and lock out your opponent. I decided I don't really like lockout decks, but I did wanted to make a Nissa deck of some sort, and I also wanted to make also a deck around Niv Mizzet Reborn. So what I decided to do is take both of those concepts and kind of make a smudge together. You see how I brew the deck, but essentially we'll go from top to bottom. I put in a playset, well, not a playset, a free of Albrio Grazer, Lenore Elves, Paradise Druid, Growth Spiles, and Growth on the... Wait, why is an Envoy doing in here? I must accidentally put that in on accident. Anyway, a playset... sorry. Like I said, it's been a while. Arbio Grazer, free of. Lenore Elves is a free of. Paradise Druid is a free of. And Growth Spiral is a free of. As well as Grow from the Ashes. Mostly, this is just our beginning game ramp to help ramp either if we need a filter for a land or get a land of a specific color so that we can get to the, if we need to, essentially the either Nissa Who Shakes the World, or if our mana is right, get to Niv Mizzet. And then, essentially, we have Chromatic Lantern as a free of as well to help us. Essentially, if we don't have all the lands of different colors, we can make them into lands of different colors. And just a hint, all the lands in this deck are forests, or shock lands that have the forest sub-archetype in them. And the main purpose of that is it synergizes with Nissa Who Shakes the World, since it's whenever you tap a forest for mana, add an additional green mana. Some of the other early drops I have is Rhythm of the Wild, which is just good to help keep our Niv Mizzets protected from being countered and such, and just giving it Riot is really good. Night Autumn is just a good tech card. And as you're going to see, most of my golden cards that I plan to dig with Niv Mizzet Reborn are one-ofs. And I figured they are just valuable cards to have, like, for example, Storev Devkin Lynch. This one's just a good card because it's just a good aggressive unit, plus also it allows us to return cards that do get killed off, like, let's say our Niv Mizzet dies. We can return Niv Mizzet back to our hand and then just go off again and then dig for more cards in our deck. Dominant Chaos Bringer is kind of another Rhythm of the Wild-ish. It's more just there to help dig for our Niv Mizzet, as well as just its plus ability to get extra mana. So it's kind of a mana rock in a sense. Tameo Collector of Tales is in here as a one-of as well, just to essentially help us to either dig for Niv Mizzet, as well as also to return cards from our hand that actually get milled from Tameo Collector of Tales. Or there's even just some times where if I ultimate a Planeswalker, I bring back a Planeswalker that I want to get back from the graveyard. Nissa, already self-explanatory, just a really good way to ramp. As well, its ultimate makes our lands indestructible, which is absurd, but it just makes our creatures into lands, which is nice. Tristani Discordance, just a good lord, plus if we are going against stealing shenanigans, allows us to get our stuff back. Roleless Apex Hybrid, it's just a good creature, it's in general just a 4/5, but when it dies it proliferates, which could help us if we have Planeswalkers on the field. Niv Mizzet, it's mostly going to be our card draw engine for the deck, plus it's just a good threat, it just gets into our deck for our multiple color stuff. Casualties of War, this one is essentially just a good board wipe-ish card, it allows us to be targeted removal and such. Vraska Relic Seeker, that's just a good top-end Planeswalker for the deck. Ravager Worm, just in general, this is kind of could be cut for something else, but I put it in here since it just kind of can be helpful because it does have Riot, it can fight, but it can also just destroy problematic lands such as Field of Ruins or Blast Zones, which is a popular land at the moment. Hydra Krasis, this one's a no-brainer, it's just a really good card draw engine, plus it makes a big creature. And March of the Multitudes is just in here because, well, to be quite frankly honest, if we have a lot of mana, we could just have our mana up at the opponent's end step, pump in for a lot of tokens, and try to win that way. And now you're kind of noticing how a majority of my golden cards that I'm hoping to dig from Niv Mizzet only have green in them. I don't have any of the non-green guilds in this deck. I don't have Demir, I don't have Boris, I don't have, ironically, Izzet, which... And the main reason why is because it's how we kind of approach the lands in this deck. Which, like I said, all of them are forests. We have 8 forests, 4 overgrown tombs, 4 stomping grounds, 4 temple gardens, 4 breeding pools. That way we can dig them all up using the ultimate from Nissa, as well as just... I don't want to have circumstances where it's like, oh, I put like a Rakdos card in here, and then it's like, well, I don't have the Rakdos mana, I am kind of in trouble. So that's the approach I decided with Niv Tron. I'm having fun with the deck. It's not perfect. It can still be tweaked still a little bit here and there. Like, there's some cards you can cut out to put other cards in. But I've been having a blast with it so far, so let us show off some gameplay of Niv Tron is my little nickname. I'm still trying to think of a good proper deck name. I'll probably have it by the deck tech video, but it's just mostly we're going against the Master of Unlocking. This should be interesting. Anyway, so we have a Paradise Druid, Growth Spiral, Niv Mizzet, and we have Nissa. Yeah, I think I'll keep this because we have the Paradise Druid to use for a Growth Spiral. We have at least enough to ramp into Nissa. We still need to get like a Chromatic Lantern or something, or my other Shocklands in the deck to get into the Niv Mizzet Reborned shenanigans. But we have enough to at least ramp into Nissa, so we're going to play our Paradise Druid. And next turn, we're probably going to play a land, and if we can get like a Botanical Sanctum, that would be nice. I'm not going to rely on it. And one reason why I like Paradise Druid, the Hexproof ability is really good. Because now the opponent would typically probably do a Lightning Bolt to this, but they can't since, well, it is, at the moment, not available to them. So, we're going to pass the turn. They're probably going to Lightning Bolt me in the face if they have a shock. We're not going to attack. We want to keep the Hexproof on this. I'm almost tempted to not Growth Spiral yet, and then just play off the land, and then just play my Nissa. Depends on how the opponent plays. If they play, like, a board wipe spell on their turn, then I'll probably just Growth Spiral, but at the moment, we're just going to keep this Paradise Druid up. That way we can essentially, hopefully, this next turn play Nissa. We'll see what the opponent does. The opponent opts. Okay, so we'll play this untap. They have negate mana up, so I'm just going to pass the turn. The thing is, we have to be very, 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 very cautious, because they could have mana to more or less... This is a meta where you have to be very careful if you're playing Planeswalker-centric metas, because with cards like Teferi in the meta and all that stuff, you have to be very, very, very cautious. So we're just still going to wait until they, quote-unquote, tap out, or at least don't have negate or Spell Pierce mana, or if they have Spell Pierce mana, we have to at least have 7 mana up. So we're going to wait, see if the opponent makes a play. They're probably not holding up counter magic now at the moment, like Ionize or something like that. So, okay, so they're a Drake deck. They tapped out now, which is perfect, so now we can Growth Spiral. We'll put Temple Garden in tap. And, well, we could just play Niv Mizzet now if we want to. I think that's the better play, actually. Niv Mizzet Reborn. We're going to dig into our deck. We get a Ravager Worm and a Growth Spiral. That's what we expected. So we can at least use the Ravager Worm to fight. Okay, so they're going to just hate out the Niv Mizzet before it gets problematic, and they're going to build up the Crackling Drake. Looks like it's going to be the case. So yeah, Niv Mizzet is down. We're going to get hit by 4 in the face. And look like they're just going to hate out the Paradise Druid because they want to make sure we don't have blue mana for another Niv Mizzet. Makes sense. Okay, so let's do some math here. If I play this, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That'll leave us with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 mana. Technically. And that's it. So, yeah, I think we can do this, but we have to be careful. We still want the red mana up, so we're going to do it like this. Play Niv Mizzet, or not Niv Mizzet, blah, Nissa.
Strange and magnificent world.
So, we're going to do this, pump the red mana, pump that, plus Nissa. We'll just put it on a forest.
Harness the elements.
Then we're going to play Ravager Worm. We're going to make it have a +1 counter. Do we want to actually hate a land and just remove? Nah, it's kind of to the point where it's better just to put the counter on and then just fight target creature, aka fight the Drake. And the Drake got eaten by a giant Ravager Worm. So now we have a good board, and they used a ton of their removal to take out the Niv Mizzet, so we should be, in theory, good. They're probably either going to play, like... Ooh. Okay, that's saucy. The problem is they didn't have any sorcery, so they're just using the finale. Actually, that art for the finale, promise, with the special art is kind of cool. Okay, so we're going to do that. We're going to tap, play this. We don't have any extra lands, we're just going to plus.
Behold, nature's
And honestly,
power.
just go into the face. Boop, boop. Now all we need is just a island source. And then we should be good. So they decide the Beacon Bolt to destroy the... Okay, there's an Augur, which makes sense. They'll join dig for something. And hey, there we go. We got our island source. So now, we can play Niv Mizzet Reborned. And still have, like, free green mana up. So, we're going to resolve it. We're going to dig. We're going to get a Casualties of War. We're going to get a growth. Well, no, we're going to get a Hydrate Crisis. Now, obviously, we can't play the Casualties of War yet, since we don't have a second black mana source. But we could actually just play the Hydrate Crisis now and just dig into our deck more.
The land shall conquer you.
Yeah, I think that works, actually. So, we're going to... Do-do, 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 do-do. So that will be about... Green, blue, 9. It would be at 9. Yeah. We'll make a Hydrate Crisis for 9. Draw a couple of cards. Swing in. And kind of laugh a little bit. The opponent charts, of course. This looks like a Phoenix deck, if I have to make a guess. So now they're going to both shock, which they're going to shock the Nissa, makes sense. They're going to try to Chorus to try to dig into their deck. Probably discard a Phoenix if they had it, so Nissa can't ultimate, which is a good idea for the opponent. And the opponent scoots because we still have 2 flyers. This deck. I kind of like this deck. Like, I still have to tweak it where I put a sideboard if I want to do this as a best of 3 of, but I don't know how am I going to approach that. It's still one thing I'm still thinking in the back of my brain. I like this hand a lot. We have Rhythm of the Wild on turn 3, or Chromatic Lantern. And we have Nissa. Yeah, I like this hand. We're keeping it. Granted, this is going to be the case of the greedy, if we don't draw land, we're in trouble, but I'm going to take a risk. We're going to put Stomping Ground in tap. Our opponent is going to be playing potentially mono red, could also be red blue, we'll see. Yeah, looks like mono red. Oh boy, I think my greed got the better of me on this one. I really just need to learn to be not keep 2 land hands. Do I take the 4? Yeah, I'll take the 4. Okay, we weren't totally in trouble yet, so I'm going to play the Chromatic Lantern for now. That way, if we draw a land, we could just play either Nissa or just play a Ravager Worm, which... Oh no, I can't play the Ravager Worm just yet. Sheesh, this guy has how many of these? Okay, so we're going to do that. Okay. I think the best approach here... How do I approach this? We could just search for 1 land. That way we could have the Nissa online, or we could just play Tamiyo Collector of Tales, or Rhythm of the Wild. Well, we're not playing against counter magic. Tamiyo is good, but not perfect. Especially since you can only choose a non-land card, so I think I'm just going to go with the Growth from the Ashes play here. Cast it for its regular mana, get a forest. Hope that the opponent doesn't burn us out. They probably are, but we'll see. Gotta decline it now. You draw some cards. Okay. We're gonna play Ravager Worm. We'll put a 1/1 counter on it. We are going to fight the Electrostatic Field. We're probably dead, but we'll see. Yeah. Sometimes you lose against to mono red. Okay, so we'll play 1 more match and then we'll probably call it for this video. Yeah, we have Paradise Druid, Chromatic Lantern. Yeah, I think it's a keep. We'll play this, play the Paradise Druid. Look like our opponent's playing Paradise Druid as well. We're going to play Chromatic Lantern. We're not going to attack. They could be playing that Absent deck. No, they look like they're just playing Gideon the deck.
Prime day for justice.
Look like an Absent Knights deck, I'm guessing.
Prepare for battle.
Well, we got different ways to approach this. But I think we need a dig for something, so... Nivy. That's good. That's good. We don't mind those.
share in my light.
Okay. Two, three, four, five. I think we play this, and then we play this for 4. There's a Nissa. There's a Nissa. I think what I'm gonna do is play Nissa and then play Knight of Autumn. Pardon? Okay, that was a good tempo play for our opponent.
I believe in you, friend.
Well, I think we see one con to this deck. Sometimes it really needs a board wipe. Okay, I think we're still playing Nissa.
I will protect the virtue of this world. Rise, my elemental friend.
And we got choices. I think our best choice here is to play the hybrid. Obviously, we're going to put the 2 counters on the land. It's not perfect, but at least we have a blocker to Niv. But I think we're just dead. Whew, this deck is saucy. Wow. Okay, so potentially 1 to 2 is not great for the deck, and like I said, the deck's not perfect, but at least we have a very funny way to, as the phrase would go, going down, as the saying. But what's the opponent going to play now? They're... Oh, and Nissa who shakes the world.
That which cannot protect itself. Be wary of the ground you walk on.
And then Johnny.
I
Jeez.
will teach you to turn back while you still can.
Jeez. Okay, so the opponent decides to go with the removal
Darkness be
plan.
gone.
And yeah, I think that's game. Yeah, I'd be surprised if the opponent was not like, okay, we have lethal. Wow. Okay, note to self. I did not know Command the Dread Horde was really standard playable. I stand corrected. Well, anyway, I'll show you the deck one more time. This time we'll show it in the curve view. This is the current deck at the moment, Niv Tron. I'll have a deck list in the captions below. I hope you guys enjoyed this. You all have a lovely day now. This is LevDev, signing out.